Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Art Whisper 88. Today, I am taking inspiration from a very famous Brazilian landscape architect. Description landscape architect hardly does this man's prolific career any justice because he was also a painter, a printmaker, a naturalist, an artist, and also a musician. And his designs of parks and gardens made him world famous. He is accredited with modernist landscape architecture, and he brought that to Brazil, his native home. He was well known as a modern nature artist and a public urban space designer. And he had great influence on tropical garden design in the 20th century. So he was also one of the first people to call for the conservation of Brazil's rainforest, brought his artistic expression, such as graphic design, tapestry, and folk art, into his artwork. So I will take the beautiful tropical colors of Roberto Burle Marx's work and create some pieces that are inspired by his tropical aesthetic. Okay, everybody, here we are at the fun part of this video. I am going to use my color shaper, and I have transformed the portrait mode to a landscape mode because most of Mr. Burle Marx's work is in a landscape format, which lends itself very well to mural painting and garden scenes. So I will start by creating a framework or a scaffolding, as I like to put it. So I will be creating a series of positive and negative spaces. What I like about this color shaper is it creates these very subtle gradations, different tonal values, which are not possible with a brayer. Because what the brayer does, it tends to flatten everything out, and it becomes much too uniform. Okay. And then I will be using my silicone tool here to create more marks. By the way, I'd like to mention that this 18 by 24 jelly plate is courtesy of jellyarts.com. They have very kindly gifted this plate to me so I can play with it. And I find that the large size allows me to create more expressive work. Okay. I will let this dry. Okay, it's semi-dry right now. I will be using my small brayers to assign some specific spots of color. Now this is cadmium red light. And this is raw sienna. Now I am expecting that the colors will bleed into each other, but that creates an interesting effect rather than have very hard edge sections of color. I like it when they blend into each other. It's very organic. Okay. Now I will add one element, which is I'll use my Q-tip. Now the Q-tip creates very, very distinct lines. again, I am using my favorite Richardson paper. Now, even with a fancy printing bed, when you are working with paper this large, you have to be very careful. It's very easy to slip and drop the paper, as I have done many times. So placement of the paper is very critical. Okay, so I will leave this on for about 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, let's see what we have here. Left a very interesting ghost. It's a pretty intense image. And it picked up almost all the black. Check this out. I like this. Okay, on to the next piece. Again, I'm going to apply my scaffolding, which is black. This time I will use a brayer instead of color shaper. And I will be using a Q-tip to create my marks. Okay, again, I will air dry this a little bit so I can apply another color without smearing too much. Okay. Let me apply some green oxide. And some more of this raw sienna. Oh wait, I changed my mind. I will use Naples yellow. Again, I'm applying a firm pressure on the paper because I want the layers of paint to transfer. It's a combination of the pressure on the paper and the time element, the duration of leaving it on the plate. And I find that around 5 to 6 minutes does the job for me. It may vary from person to person, but this is where you need to do your own experimentation. Very cool. I like this green. It's like the green of the rainforest. Awesome. Check this out. They also happen to be the colors of Brazil. I have a few friends over there. Okay, maybe one last fling. I'm going to combine the black with some of this burnt sienna. I'll let this dry for a few minutes. Here is some lime green. And the rest will be titanium white, which I rarely use. Let's see how this works out. Okay, it's been about 5 to 6 minutes. Let's see how we did here. I'm very curious to see because I rarely use titanium white, which is a very opaque paint. I think this transfer is really cool. I love the textures. Okay. I think this is a nice final piece. I think it's my favorite as well. So I will air dry all 3 of these and recap and compare it to the pieces that inspired me by Roberto Burle Marx. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, everybody, here's my favorite part of this video, where I get to show you the final product. Here is a close-up, and as you can see, the silicone tool has made very clear white marks. So that is print number 1. Now I will put this to one side so you can see it with the inspiration. I'll do my best because this table is very small. That's better. So that is print number 1. Here's the next one. I do like this one a lot. This might be my favorite, actually. Makes me think of the rainforest because of its colors and sinuous lines, like the tree branches and roots of plants. So that is number 2. Here is the last piece. There is a slight oil resist here on the left side. I think it's a very interesting texture. And these scribble marks give it a very complex movement, very organic. Here is the piece on one side and the inspiration piece on the other. So I hope you like this video. I learned a lot about Roberto Burle Marx myself, being an avid gardener, and I have a renewed appreciation for all his work, not just garden design, but his architecture, his paintings, his prints, his interiors. The list goes on and on. So this is a tribute to Roberto Burle Marx. And a shout out to all my friends in Brazil. Obrigado and saudades. I'll see you next time.